and when you see Alabama joining with California, then you sort of say, yeah. So, you know, what I would hope is that you're going to continue to see more and more states, you know, certainly on legalizing for medical purposes go out there, and then you're going to have what I would hope is the federal government just, you know, the feds looking at this and saying, okay, you know, it is just time to harmonize the statutes in a way that makes sense of following the leadership of the states, plain and simple.
It's the laboratories of experimentation that we've been waiting for from the states, right?
Right. You know, I don't want to sound too pessimistic, but I think that it's unlikely to get anything changed federally. I don't think Congress is willing to do it. Now, look, I could be wrong. We have the recent shift in the criminal justice, the sentencing around crack and powder cocaine, right? Which is amazing that it's finally happened, right? It's way too long. For many, many years now, it's been the same amount of cocaine, powder cocaine, the amount of powder cocaine that it takes to get a sentence equal to crack cocaine is 100 times more. So for 100 times less crack cocaine, you get the same prison sentence of a 5-year, 10-year mandatory minimum sentence for a tiny, tiny amount of crack cocaine. The Congress just passed a law to begin to equalize that. It didn't take it back to 1-to-1 where it ought to be, but it you know, significantly improved that disparity from 100-to-1 to 18-to-1, and repealed a mandatory minimum sentence. The first time that's happened, to my knowledge, with a drug sentence, federal drug sentence, well, for a long, long time, if ever. So it may be that it's not the third rail that it's always been. Maybe that's starting to change a little bit, and maybe Congress would be willing to entertain some of these reform ideas. I think more likely you'll see, and what I'd like to see is perhaps something like what the Holder Memorandum purports to do with medical marijuana, only that has a little more juice behind it. I think that, unfortunately, that represented a compromise, right? That Obama on the campaign trail indicated that he was supportive of medical marijuana being available to patients, legitimate patients, and you know, he's sort of decided that he needs to keep that promise that he made to his base, but he's done it in a way that still allows an incredible amount of discretion on the part of U.S. attorneys to continue, and Drug Enforcement Administration agents continue to conduct raids. I think that if it were more of a priority for the Obama administration and for Department of Justice, I think if they could put more teeth into a non-enforcement or a change in enforcement priorities, and you could get a result on the ground much faster and much more beneficial than waiting for Congress to act.
Well, thank you very much. Please thank the panel here for their these issues will be fleshed out further when cannabis is legalized, and might be California first. A few housekeeping items before we start with the next panel, which is going to get into more of the practical issues. There are CDs available with many documents on them. There's also a bibliography that's printed up next to them. Please take those. They're available for free. And also for those lawyers who are here, we have continuing legal education forms to fill out for you to get your credits. I'm now going to introduce Eric Sterling, who's the president of the Criminal Justice Policy Foundation and also the president of the Voluntary Committee of Lawyers. Eric.
If our panelists would come forward and take their seats, please.